You ready? The camera is right there.
It's a little dot right over there above the wizard hat.
Yep, above the wizard hat.
So, Roach.
So, Stephan.
Explain the game of Coven Crucible in 1 minute or less.
Oh, you're putting that to me. Okay.
I figured we both could do it.
Okay. All right. So the game Coven Crucible is, imagine if the movie The Last Witch Hunter and the John Wick movie series got together and had a really pretty baby, it would be this game. What I mean by that is that this is an urban fantasy setting, magic is real, anybody can cast magic, anybody can be a witch, just not everybody chooses to be so. It's the same as with computers. Everybody uses a computer, not everybody's a computer programmer. So in this world, people use magic. They buy potions, they use magic items, they go to people who do divination to find out about their love life, but not everybody can do what witches do. But anybody could, they just need to put the effort into it.
So Coven Crucible is a game of modern day magic and witchcraft. Urban fantasy style set in the city of Chicago, at least the core rulebook is. Magic is real. It is like any other skill, like Roach said. I know that plumbing exists in my house. I know that it lets me get water from one place to another, hot water or cold water. If it breaks, do I know how to fix it? Absolutely not. Should I try? Not unless I want a mess on my hands. So, that is the same with magic. The average everyday person walking down the streets of Chicago, they know magic exists. They might walk by a magic tattoo artist, or they might walk by a shop that sells materia magica, or they might see advertisements for hippogriff racing. But are they going to be throwing magic around? No. That's reserved for the PCs, the characters who are specialists in Coven Crucible. Everyone is a specialist. They all focus on a very particular style of either magic or style of what their character is. Maybe they're a gun bunny, maybe they're the face or a grifter, and that's how they use their magic. That, in a nutshell, is very cinematic, and the way that John Wick is cinematic. Like you see the John Wick character doing all these incredible moves, blocking bullets with his jacket, stuff like that. That's what the PCs can do. Very gritty, very cinematic. That's the whole purpose and the point. But at the root of it, it's a game of collaborative storytelling. You're working with other witches to accomplish a goal. That's Coven Crucible in my eyes. Ta-da! All right. So, Roach, how did Coven Crucible come to be?
Okay, so here's the story about Coven Crucible.
Can we keep it under a minute?
Can we keep it under a minute? We'll see.
Let's try.
Stephan here is a forever GM, and I wanted to run a game for him to play in. And for some reason, I thought creating a system would be easier than learning a system. And to that end, I went to Stephan back Thanksgiving of 2021 and said, hey, do you want to take our relationship to the next level? And Stephan immediately said yes, without even knowing what I was talking about. And I said, do you want to write a TTRPG with me? And he said, absolutely. So this is how Coven Crucible came into being. I was inspired by the Last Witch Hunter movie and then also the John Wick movies, and I wanted something that kind of blended those two worlds together. And that's how TTRPGs are made, when a roach loves a Stephan very, very much and then asks a question.
You touched on this before, but what is the Coven and what are the Crucibles?
Okay, so the Coven is a corporation of witches. Basically, it came together in the late 1500s to protect and to further the goals of witches. Originally started off in Britain, is very much a corporation in the sense of, yeah, it's got a stated mission goal of we're here to help witches, but also they want to have influence over governments, over societies, to accomplish this goal, which means that the Coven gets very, it has some sinister aspects to it, as many corporations are, because I'm a filthy anti-capitalist, and so I wanted to make the villain or the nemesis or the overarching catalyst for this world be something that is presumably for the benefit of witches, but also can be at the detriment of them.
Cool.
So Stephan,
Yeah.
why don't you talk about the Crucibles?
I would
keep it
love
under
to.
a minute.
A minute or less?
A minute or less.
The Crucibles. As mentioned before, the Crucibles are a bastion of neutrality. They are run by witches that are independent. They do not belong to a house, they do not belong to the Coven. The Coven, of course, would really enjoy controlling the Crucibles because, one, they generate a lot of income, and two, they're involving pretty much everything having to do with witches, which is what the Coven proposes it does. The Crucibles are hotels. They can be ranging from high-end hotels with plenty of shops inside to smaller hostel type room and board, depending on where you're located and where it's located. But at the root of it all, they are only allowing witches to enter, only allowing witches or people on witch business, mortals, mundanes, to enter only. That's it. No supernatural creatures, nothing else, just witches. Because hospitality and neutrality, they are to remain neutral. It's where people will have conversations and air grievances without the fear of being persecuted. That's the main thing behind Crucibles. So, Roach, how does magic work in Coven Crucible?
I'm so glad you asked.
Thank you again. Oh, I should have said that.
I am a practicing witch and pagan, and so when we created the magic system for Coven Crucible, I wanted it to reflect the way I believe and perceive magic to work in the real world, and so it's all about intention. It is putting out your intention with the magic behind it to back it up to affect change on the world around you. There are limits on the magic in the Coven Crucible. It's very fleeting. It only lasts at most a few minutes depending on what you do. But say I have this tea and I want it to be wine. So I would then mechanically roll a magic aspect plus arcana plus science, perhaps, to turn it from tea to wine. And then it would last a certain number of rounds that my LOS, my levels of success, are. And for that time, for those rounds, this tea would be wine, and then it would revert back to tea. So it's all about intention. Characters are encouraged to, or players are encouraged to describe what their character's magic looks like. So if you're hexing someone, maybe it's a lightning bolt, maybe you're doing force lightning. Or if you're healing someone, maybe it looks like golden energy surrounding the person that you're healing. We want people to be creative in what their magic looks like, and just know that they need to be intentional and they need to be specific when they say what it is that they're going to be doing.
My favorite, one of my favorites, is the whole, we mentioned science before. I love the mingling of science and magic, and I think that it'd be really cool. And it is really cool when characters come up with an idea of, say, converting the form matter takes using magic aspect plus arcana plus science to then say, I'm going to turn the stone in that wall from solid to gaseous. And then you can walk through it. And then at the end of that duration, it turns back to solid and everything is fine. And no one even knows there's the wiser. So I think that's one of my favorites of all time. I mean, there's a whole bunch you can do, but I think that's my favorite.
Very cool.